Okay, what's going on, everybody? My name is Mangg, and welcome back to Hanging with Mangg. We're playing some Call of Duty. I've been playing a lot of Modern Warfare 2 this week on the Xbox One, since they added backwards compatibility. But this open beta went live for Black Ops 4's Blackout mode, which is a Battle Royale mode. And I've never played a Battle Royale game before, and I figured, you know, it's Call of Duty. I'm kind of comfortable with that. This is the new hotness, so why not give it a try? And I've played a few matches here. Although played is a questionable term. I don't know. I'm not too good at this whole thing. I don't know exactly what it requires. I feel like, I mean, obviously I've only played a few things. 15 minutes worth. I feel like it requires, I don't know, a lot of patience or a lot of skill. And I feel like I'm not particularly patient and not particularly skillful, so that's why I like Call of Duty normally, because you know, I don't have to be patient when playing Call of Duty. I can rush in as fast as I want and just, you know, get right in the action as quickly as I want. I don't have to camp if I don't want to. I don't have to be slow-paced or wait for my team or anything like that. I can do whatever I want. And normally, when playing Call of Duty, if I die, which I die a lot, you just respawn instantly, and you get right back in the action. And I'm not incredible at Call of Duty games, but I enjoy them because I never have to wait around to have fun. I don't mind dying as long as I can get right back into it.
Training time's over. Go to work.
And that's why I don't really care for, like, Strike or Search and Destroy modes, or even, like, Battlefield is a lot slower to get back in the action unless you're respawning on, like, a squad member. So I don't even know if they allow that anymore. I haven't played one in a while. But the point is, I like to just be constantly in the action if possible. You know, I'm a rusher player rather than a camper. And so for here, it's like, yeah, you know, when you die, you can just leave the game and join another, but that takes a while, and that's pretty much akin to, like, a really slow respawn timer. And when you get back into a new game, you have to go through that whole process again, and you have to run around and find your gear again. You know, it's just a very different experience. Obviously, it's a very popular style. Battle Royale games are all the rage. I just don't know if it's entirely for me.
Potential collapse detected. Relocation to indicated safe zone is advised.
Also, I don't know if solo is the best way to play these games. obviously there's a solo mode. Plenty of people play solo. I just don't know if it's the best. And so here's the thing. It just, like, it forces me to play a campier style. Because I don't want to die and go through that whole process again of joining a new game and wingsuiting in and blah, 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 blah. And for some people, like, this camping style is how you play Call of Duty. This is it. This is what you do. You stand up here and you hide behind cover and you look around, you wait to see somebody, and then you pick them off. That's not really my style. And I'm not saying you can't rush around and kill people, but chances are, unless you're really good or really lucky, you're gonna die. Because there are people doing this stuff. And yeah, also I can't aim. That is another detriment, because I'm so used to just being in somebody's face. And I die anyways. And so that's it. You get one life, and you can spectate, you can watch other people play, but if I wanted to do that, I would just turn on Twitch or something. So then you leave the match. And you do it all over again. I mean, maybe with a group of friends just hanging around, and I have people, you know, that I can chat with and just hang out with and blah, blah, blah. Of course, every game is better that way, but I don't. And so I don't know if this is really my kind of thing. I'd rather play Modern Warfare 2, even though it is 9 years old. But anyways, we have a lot of other stuff to talk about. I just figured I'd mention all this stuff. Okay, so this week on this channel, we started Shadow of the Tomb Raider. And believe it or not, I'm actually done with Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I have it all recorded. And that's not because I binged the hell out of it like Spider-Man and just played so much of it. It's because it's a really short game. Or at least the main story is really short. I was shocked. I was honestly shocked. You will be able to hear my shock in the final part. So yeah, it's 10 parts, and then we're done. So I think what's gonna happen, I think this is the schedule here. We're gonna wrap up Doom, which has a couple more parts. Then we're gonna switch back to Final Fantasy IX and go through the rest of that. And we're gonna finish out Shadow of the Tomb Raider. And then I think we're going to do Doom 2 and Final Fantasy IX until the Call of Cthulhu game comes out. Because that comes out in October, I believe. And so I believe, barring any other unforeseen things, that will be my next Let's Play. And so when that comes out, we might not quite be done with Doom 2, so we'll do a same thing where we just do Doom 2 and Call of Cthulhu and leave Final Fantasy for a little bit, but that should line up decently. Obviously, the Call of Cthulhu thing is pretty damn interesting to me. Since I'm a big fan of the mythos, I'm very curious to see how they do it. So, yeah. We'll see how that goes. Fuck. And here I am without any sort of weapon whatsoever.
Advise relocation to indicated safe
Yeah,
zone.
great.
That's a hard
Great
fail.
stuff.
All assets lost.
So that's the schedule as I see it. Other games coming out include Red Dead Redemption 2, I guess, which I'll be probably getting and playing on my own. We don't need more open world Let's Plays. Then there's also the new Assassin's Creed, which I'll probably be getting and playing on my own for same reason. And then there's also Fallout 76, which I, of course, am getting. And I think there will be videos, but I really don't know how much of an LP that game is. So there will be videos, and we'll just kind of see how it goes. But I'm not planning like a formal LP because I don't know what to expect from that game. So yeah, that's where we're at. And as for the exploring series, we had SCP-093 this Monday, and Monday was a really great day. Like, it broke the record for me for a first day video view count. It got like over 20,000 views on Monday, which was really cool. But since it really stagnated almost immediately, I feel like most of those views were just from subscribers and not from YouTube recommendations. Either that or YouTube just pulled the plug on it immediately and only recommended it for one day, which is usually not the case. Either way, though, it got a solid number of views. And at the very least, we have a nice viewer base for going forward with SCP. So I'm reasonably confident that almost any SCP video I put out can get 25,000 views at least, which is pretty cool. But obviously we want to keep pumping those numbers up. So this week I worked on the video for the Scarlet King, who is really like the most mythos-esque entity in the SCP Foundation. He's really like a classic mythos entity. He's very mysterious. You know, he comes from the void below or whatever, and he threatens all life on Earth, and there are secret cults trying to bring him into the world, and so on and so forth. It's all very traditional stuff. But there are some interesting twists and turns, especially the way that it relates to the SCP Foundation and some other SCPs. I think it's a decent video, and I hope people enjoy it. The artwork for that one wasn't too bad because I could use just a lot of like images of Azathoth and Yog-Sothoth and stuff. I don't know what gun I want. I don't know what I want. I'm just gonna die. Death is imminent.
Potential collapse detected. Advise relocation to indicated safe zone.
Yeah, like I could ever actually witness one of these collapses. Okay, we got a hollow sight. That will help when I can't aim. So yeah, I think it should be a pretty solid video. This week, I don't know what I'm going to be working on. I think the poll is pretty tied up right now between like Marshall, Carter, and Dark, and oh god, where did that come from? Oh, maybe that was from me getting on. Can I drive the? You can't drive the van. What kind of game is this? I don't even know if I want to drive this thing. I feel like that's just putting a target right on my head. A noisy target. Come shoot me. But I guess it's fast paced. Marshall, Carter, and Dark. SCP-3000. The Davites. Maybe Sarcasm. I don't know. We'll see what happens. And I've also begun work on some side SCP videos, shorter videos focusing on a single SCP.
Circle collapse imminent.
Just to fill in the weeks and to get some extra views and stuff like that. So the first one of those that I did was SCP-1000, Bigfoot. And pretty much I almost did the whole script in just like an hour. And like an hour and a half, really. So it really did not take long, and
Squad destroyed by hostile action.
this pretty much sums up Call of Duty, which I expect, but again, the respawn process is just too much for me. So yeah, you know, it's gonna be like a 7-minute video or something like that, and that's gonna be probably the average. And I don't know, I might start it nowadays, because the ad rates don't seem too bad right now. And if I can build up a viewing audience, big one for SCP right now, that can carry over into October, November, December, and then that would be pretty good. So, you might see the SCP-1000 video this week. It really shouldn't take too long to put together. It's going to be all pretty much images of Bigfoot, so pretty easy. And most of those that I put together will be pretty easy. One SCP, short videos, summaries, done and done. My only problem really is I have no way of differentiating it on the surface from a reading. Because I don't put summary in the title. So I worry that anybody just glancing is going to be like, oh, like I want to hear a fucking reading of SCP-093. And then they just don't even look at it. That's not good. That's why if I build up the viewing audience from like these videos which are very clearly not readings, like the Scarlet King and Church of the Broken God and so on and so forth, they're just going to click on whatever video I put out. So yeah.
AO is hot.
It's going. What else do we got? What else do we got? I guess we'll talk about role manging. Let's just drop now. Let's get into the thick of things here. Let's just get a gun and shoot people. Like Call of Duty. Look at this straight drop. Right up against these other dudes. And And I don't know where to look for a gun. But I'm gonna find something. Here we go. Throw that and I'm already dead. Why would I do that? I don't know. It's like, I can die now or I can die in 5 minutes after walking slowly around for a while. Alright, roll Mangg. Shadow of the Demon Lord, Bloomhaven, with Gug and the gang. So when we last left off, we are in the city of Stanton, which is starting to be overtaken by the, but not excessively so. But the threat is on the horizon. And so Gug decided, primarily because of his quirk, that he is going to build a city underground. Underneath Stanton, he will build his city where he will be the ultimate ruler, and he'll save some people. Many will die in the process, but that's life. That is life. And so I had made a deal with the local smithy. He's going to refine my ore. He's going to smelt my ore. He's going to make me pickaxes. And he's going to do work for me as part of this glorious project. Why are the bullets purple? I'm boosting. And so,
Blackout.
The plan is, we're going to dig a mining shaft. 12 feet by 12 feet, 100 feet down in the slums. Okay? I want this to be fairly deep. One, to avoid any sort of collapses in the town itself, which would allow all the bloom to come in or anything like that. And two, to avoid any surface bloom just poking their roots into our business. So I want it to be fairly deep. So I give the boys some projects. I tell them they gotta find some apprentices for the smithy. Go to the slums, find a couple apprentices. You know, just your average boys that are eager to work and not like mentally retarded or anything. And also to find a suitable place to begin digging the shaft. Now, luckily, Thomas's character was both a prospector and a spelunker, so he had a lot of knowledge of mining conditions, collapses, things like that. So he was suitable for finding the perfect spot for this, which was good. And so he did. Mesh mine. And so he did. They actually didn't find any apprentices right away. Apparently they misunderstood. What the fuck am I... What am I doing? Oh, I'm shooting mesh mines. Oh, I see. And you go into the mesh and you die. Sure. They found like 20-some peasants that were willing to do some mining work and some lumber work and things like that. So that was all well and good. And I bribed the local guards to ignore any sounds coming from the slums and to ignore any lumber coming in and to just, you know, be on the take and all that. Just to avoid any trouble. Because really, secrecy was...
Squad destroyed by hostile action. MTC suspended.
Secrecy was very important to this whole project. So that was the idea, was to dig this tunnel shaft, have some rope and pulley systems involved so that we can start getting in there and poking around down there, seeing what caverns are down there, what tunnels are already existing, what tunnels we need to create, what areas we can build, and to start getting, you know, furnishings down there and people down there and get this whole thing on the road. My goal was, by the end of the session, I wanted to have the 100-foot tunnel dug out. And really, if it was just me and Ziggy, just the two of us playing, and I wanted to do this, I would have gotten much farther than that. Because really, it's just like, okay, I just want them to work every day, and you know, let's do a time skip, and if anything happens, just we can jump to it. It's really simple. Time skips are why games are better than real life. Well, it's one of the reasons. Because you can just snap your fingers and boom, it's a week later and everything you want is done. But the group that I play with, they hate time skips. They seem to abhor them. Because a time skip means you're skipping over any sort of shenanigans. And they love shenanigans.
Blackout.
You know, when you skip over time, you can't have crazy nighttime adventures where you murder people or something for no reason and all that kind of stuff.
Go to work.
So needless to say, we did not get the shaft dug. We got it dug like 2 feet. It was miserable. And here we go. Go for this nice little cabin. Oh, right through the wind. Oh, damn it. I'm gonna get a kill this time. That's my goal, is get 1 kill. Look, I got a Mozu. I got a barricade. I could barricade myself in if need be. I don't think I'm gonna get a kill with this gun. Recon car. Oh, here we go. 12 gauge shotgun. How can I not get a kill with a shotgun?
Potential collapse detected. Advise relocation to indicated safe zone.
I'm trying to think of what the main problems were with why we didn't get shit built. Okay, well, all right. So, Phil's character joins us. He wasn't here last session, so he pops in this time. And almost jokingly, really, I think I said it as a joke. I told him to go get us a is that a fucking zombie? Okay, I'm counting that as a kill.
That's a hard fail. All assets lost.
I got a kill. I told him to go get us a loan. Because in the last Sprawl campaign, the mayoral campaign, his character, he was responsible for getting us all these loans. Anytime we needed more money, we just told him to get another loan. And so it was really joking back to that. I thought he would get it and just be like, yeah, that's funny. But no, he was like, okay, I'll go get a loan. And he went and got a loan. I was fine with it. It's just not what I expected. I'm fine with it because he got us a lot of money. Way more than I expected us to have. He went to like the local merchants guild and he was like filling out the paperwork for a loan. And he asked for 50 gold for the loan, which the guy at the merchant guild basically just like laughed at him because he was prepared to give him like 1 gold. So 50 gold was obscene. But Phil had in his possession, I think it's an amulet, I'm not exactly sure, but it allows him to basically, like, compel someone, like, charm someone to do whatever he wants them to do. And if they don't do whatever he says, they take, like, a bunch of damage at the end of every turn. So
Infiltrate, engage, and destroy.
he used this on the merchant guild guy, the loan officer, whatever. And he used it to make the guy give him 50 gold pieces out of like the register. And so he got 50 gold pieces, and that by itself would have been okay. He needed to kill the guy afterwards so that no one knew what he did. But he did not kill the guy. He left, like, his fine cloak with him as collateral, because apparently collateral was necessary to get a loan. Okay, I got a gun. I got everything I need. We can kill some bitches.
Potential collapse detected. Advise relocation to indicated safe zone.
I just like picking up stuff. So, not only does he not kill the guy, so he's got a perfect witness here, because the guy remembers everything that is happening here. It doesn't wipe his memory. But also, once he's out of the merchant guild, he starts running. Which, after you commit a crime, unless someone is chasing you, you never fucking run. Because, of course, a guard sees him running and asks him what's wrong. And, of course, Phil is terrible, so he can't lie for shit. So it causes all sorts of trouble. All these guards see his face and realize what happened, because the guy that he compelled is, like, standing outside of the merchant guild yelling after him. So it's all shit. And, of course, he comes back to Gug in the slum, so he leads everyone right there. But, fortunately, I guess he did give him a slip, so they didn't really follow him to the slums. I don't know what I'm doing. Hold on.
Sit rep. Circle collapse imminent. Get to safety.
And so we've got all these workers, we've got some pickaxes, but they're gonna want money. And so I offer them, like, I think I offer them, like, 2 silver a day, or no, that sounds kind of high. Maybe it's 1 silver a day. I offer them some amount of money for every day that they work. And they also, most importantly, want food, because this is the slums. They're homeless. Not homeless, but some of them are. It's not good. They'd like food. So I go into town, or I go into the market area, and I pretend to be like a wealthy philanthropist that wants to feed the poor. And so I arrange for daily shipments of food to the slums. And I pay for it thanks to the 50 gold loan that Phil managed to get. Like I said, it helped quite a bit. I'm glad he got it. And in the end, it worked out very well. Because, of course, Phil dies. Phil dies at the end of this story. So the day ends. I sleep in the slums because I need to sleep like underground. So I'm sort of sleeping in the mining pit, which is not very glorious, but you know, you got to make some sacrifices. Look at all this shit. Oh, level 3 armor and scopes and grapple guns and 9 bangs. And the others go back to their inn that they have been staying at. So they're in the inn. But of course, Phil is a highly wanted criminal at this point. His face is well known to the town guard, and he stole 50 gold pieces, which is not a small amount. And so the innkeeper recognizes him and oh shit, I didn't want to fire my gun, and mentions to Mert that that's the guy that the guards are looking for. I'm gonna let them know and get a bounty reward. That's badass, man. This is just so weird to play. Because it's like, I don't really want to find anybody, because then I'll die and I have to go through the whole process again, but I also, this is really boring. This is like a walking simulator with a gun. I don't know what I want. This whole thing just confuses me. This does not feel like Call of Duty. And so Mert actually declines to say anything to Phil. Mert's character is very complicated. He's got like a split personality where one of them is a really good guy and one of them is a really big asshole. And sometimes it's hard to tell which is in which mode. But I guess he decided not to tell Phil that the guards were on the way to capture him.
Relocate to safe zone.
And here we go, here we go. Oh, he's got that armor. I'm gonna juke him. He's not gonna expect this. Fuck. This guy expected it. What was that? Am I out of grapples? Hold on, I'll continue the story once I get this kill. What happened? Did he kill himself? I think he killed himself. I don't know if I want any of this shit. Here, I can take a stock. There's this other guy, though. Now, is he camping? Is he hiding out? Like people tend to do? Does he expect me to come through the front door? Is he... Oh, he's in here. Oh, god damn this game.
Outplayed and out to look.
So the guards arrive. Let's just spectate. Not this. Can I spectate anybody else? Come on. I don't... Come on. Not the guy that killed me camping in a room for an hour. No, apparently I can't spectate anyone else, or I don't know how. So the guards arrive, and they start creeping up the staircase up to the rooms.
Sit rep. Circle collapse imminent. Get to safety.
And Mert is just sitting on his bed, like contemplating whether to tell Phil or not.
Net call. Supply drop incoming.
And he just sort of waited so long, both in-game and out-of-game, he decided, that he just couldn't decide what to do. And so the guards come into the room, the common room where they all are, and they come and they grab Phil. And I guess Phil's character just, like, pretends to be sleeping. And so he doesn't resist. They bind his hands and his legs, and they carry him away, and Mert just sort of sits there. And so, like, look at this. Like, are you watching this? I cannot play a video game like this. I cannot. This is far too boring for me. Far too boring. Never, I could never do this. I would just rather not play than just sit in a room and hope somebody shows up. I don't know. It's not my thing at all. And he got the kill. It worked for him, but... anyways. So Phil gets carried off to the town dungeons. And he gets tortured and interrogated on where the gold is. And basically, the second they start torturing him, he instantly folds and tells them everything. Which, of course, is true Phil fashion. But he doesn't tell them everything, because he doesn't tell them... He tells them that Gug has the money. And Gug is in the slumps. But he doesn't tell them exactly where. He says, I'll show you. And of course, they're not going for that. So they're just going to start looking around for this Gug person. And he describes me as a, you know, a short, hairless, disfigured, awful-looking dwarf. Look at this guy. Why do you want to play video games? MS Paint is more fun than what this guy is doing. Oh my god. Mario Paint. Mario Paint is more fun. So, I'm sleeping in the mining pit without any knowledge of these events. But I have my little sentry guy.
Sit rep. Circle collapse imminent. Get to safety.
I have my little robo acting as sentry while I'm sleeping, and he wakes me up and says, Master, there's a group of guards coming down the street. Which is a thing that I would like to be notified of, because I am I'm doing some sketchy stuff around here in the slums. So, yeah, a group of guards, yes. Please wake me up for that shit. So, now, Phil, his character did tell me that he basically stole the 50 gold, and he was seen by guards. So I know that they were going to be looking for him. And... Oh, here we go. Oh, he got another kill. Incredible. Incredible. This guy really knows his stuff. So it wasn't obviously a stretch to assume that they caught Phil and he spilt the beans, and now they're coming for me. So, I was sitting there thinking, what is the best course of action here? And I figured there were a few different routes I could take. One was just bribery. I've already seen that the guards of this town are not opposed to bribery. I bribed, like, the entire southwest guardhouse to ignore any sounds coming from the slums and to let me bring all this lumber in and to basically undermine the Duke's authority completely. So they're open to bribery. So I could just take the money, bribe them, and bring, you know, put them on the take and be done with it. Or I get rid of the money and I just pretend to be a peasant and I have no idea what anyone's talking about. Like, they're going off of, you know, a thief's words. He is the one
Travel to indicated safe zone.
that has proven. They all know his face. And he, like, pretty much just confessed that he stole all this money. So they're going to believe his word that this random, like, horrible, horrible looking dwarf in the slums has 50 gold pieces on him. And they can strip search me and all that, and they would find nothing except 3 copper pieces or something. I figured that was the best bet, because that means that they'll probably just go back and kill Phil, and I can just wipe my hands of it. So, since I had Robo Dude there, I gave him practically all my money except for 3 copper pieces, and I said, go into one of the buildings nearby and hide. And then once they were gone, I could go get them and blah, blah, blah. But I had to roll a d20 to see how well, or see if he was seen running away or anything like that. And of course I rolled shit, so he got seen. And I'm like, alright, well, I don't even know if I initiated combat at that point or exactly what happened, but Mert did some Deus Ex Machina shit. Like, I'm getting a crash course here on how to play a battle royale game, and I hate what I'm seeing. So I don't think this is for me, to be honest. Which is, you know, when I tried out a MOBA, you know, some of you may recall when I tried out Heroes of the Storm, and I hated that. It's just not my style of game. Pretty much anything that requires a lot of patience and time is just yuck. I mean, multiplayer-wise.
Supply drop inbound.
Mert apparently worships some sort of entity known as LG. That's a code word, apparently, that he established with himself, but he had been talking to Ziggy, I guess, and Ziggy knew what he was talking about. So we joked that LG is apparently Lord God. I have no idea how he knew that I was in trouble or anything like that. I'm unclear on that. But he prayed to LG to help to let him help me with this
Further
situation
collapse
or something like
expected.
that.
Travel to indicated safe zone.
Oh my god. This guy must be cheating. Everyone else killed me in like 3 seconds. I don't know what's going on. And so Ziggy had him roll to see how well his prayer worked. And of course he rolled a crit. And so Ziggy decided, okay, you and Thomas just immediately appear next to Gug as these guards are coming down the street. And so, I guess because of that, we just got into a full-blown combat, because, I mean, what else is going to happen at that point? So we get into a combat with these guys, and these are, like, tougher guards. These are, like, elite guards. But we pretty much wiped the floor with them. I didn't get hit once. It really wasn't much trouble at all. And we killed one pretty well, and then the two of them started to flee. And if they fled and they got away, that's really bad. That would be really bad for the entire operation. My plans would have to change drastically. I don't think they would know about the mining shit. Like, they just got into this fight. I don't think they know the whole plan. But they would send a whole platoon of guards to take us out. And that would be trouble. We'd have to leave. We'd have to go to a different town or something.
Net call. Major instability detected.
So they started to flee, but I had 2 bolt throwers set up at that point. So the bolt throwers fire, and I rolled so well. I rolled an 18 twice. And because of my modifier, that means I got a 20 on each time. And if I roll 20 or higher on the bolt thrower attack, I do bonus damage, which is very good. I needed the bonus damage. So one of the guys fleeing, I impaled him against a wall just instantly. He took absurd amount of damage. The other guy, I sort of grazed. I didn't roll damage quite as well. But luckily, between the 3 of us, we managed to clip him down, and so we took him alive. I wanted him alive because I do want him to be on the take. I want to bribe him, and I want, because I want a guy that's on the inside of, like, the Duke's establishment. So if the Duke has any hints about what's going on or anything like that, I want to know about it as soon as possible. So I want this guy on the inside, and I want somebody to go and assassinate Phil, because I was just sick and tired of this guy causing all this trouble. You know, I said that, you know, I'm going to be an evil character, but I'm not going to be evil against the other people in my party. But after a certain point, lines will be crossed, and I just couldn't rationalize it. There's just no way in hell my character would allow this buffoon to exist, threatening his entire operation. It just wouldn't happen. So, that's how it goes. You know, any other character, any other time, any other situation, probably there would be a rescue operation to break him up. Look at that. All that time, all that waiting and popping around, and he places 22. What did I place? Like 61 or some shit like that? Or is that my place? I have no idea. Maybe he placed like 2. I don't know. Still, he didn't win. So, I don't know. I'd rather just have fun if I'm going to lose, but... you know, a breakout operation from a prison that I fully plan and all that could be very interesting. Don't get me wrong. That would be very cool. And even me planning his assassination while in prison could be pretty interesting. But I'm just like, I want to wipe my hands of this Phil fuck and just be done with it and move on, because I wanted to get this tunnel shaft dug. So I just paid the guy 5 gold pieces. I'm like, all right, you're going to be, you know, on the inside. You're gonna talk to us, and you're gonna say that you were ambushed in the slums. You didn't find any evidence of this Gug person. You think this guy's lying, and you're gonna have him killed. All right, that's it. He took the money and he left. But Thomas is playing a shapeshifter, and for whatever reason, he has an obsession now with shapeshifting. And changelings, shapeshifters, all that just lead to shenanigans. I know, because I've been there, done that. I got up to many shenanigans in my time. I just didn't really expect it from Thomas. And so he changed his form into the guard, the living guard that we were bribing, because he wanted to impersonate him. He wanted to kill him off, impersonate him, go back in, and pretend to be the guard in the Duke's establishment so that he could take over as the Duke and become the Duke and blah, blah, blah. So he changed his form into the guard. He did it. And it's not reversible. He cannot change his form back into a previous thing. He can only become a new form, and then a new form, and then a new form. So it was done. His old form was gone forever. And, you know, he had all these ideas about infiltrating the Duke's estate and all this and becoming the Duke and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just telling him, no. I told him no. And that's not, I don't like having to tell another player no. That's not a good idea. We shouldn't do this. It's just bad. Because I like shenanigans. I like doing all this crazy, wacky stuff. But I like doing it as a group. I like when we're all on board with a project and everyone has their own little tasks to try and accomplish a singular goal. That is not this, because we're not all on board with getting into the Duke's thing, and we cannot each have our own tasks, because this is really all about Thomas. He's the shapeshifter. We really can't go in there and try and infiltrate the Duke's estate. It just doesn't work. And B, we have no interest in impersonating the Duke, especially at this point in time. It's dangerous, it's very tricky and risky. Likely, if Thomas attempts it, which I think he is, he's going to die or get captured, and we've already seen what captured characters do for the group. They squeal on us immediately, and Gug has to fight for his life and risk the entire operation. If we were all working together as a cohesive group to topple this government and have Thomas take the place of the Duke, you know, if I was really focused and trying to plan that out, because that was really important, then yes, we probably could do it. But it's a bad idea, and only Thomas is involved, and he's going to get himself captured. We want to stay as far away from the Duke's estate as possible. Yes, I want an inside man, but the fact that Thomas wants to be the inside man with A, ulterior motives, and B, no knowledge of being an inside man, because he's just impersonating an inside man. He's pretending to be an inside man. It just doesn't work. It's all around just bad. I tried to discourage him as much as possible, but he had already changed, so he had already committed to this. So I sent the guard in there. Phil's character did die, which I'll go into in a second, but Thomas later on went to the guard's home and, like, snuck under his bed, planning to kill him. Because he wants to be the inside guy, so he doesn't want the other guy poking around. So he went into his home, he's waiting under his bed, the guy comes home, goes to sleep. Thomas comes out and sees him sleeping, and instead of killing him, he takes, like, his house key, and he goes to the smithy to get, like, a duplicate of the house key made. I don't know exactly what his plan is, but right now the guard is alive, so we'll see what happens. Meanwhile, Phil's in prison. He's approached by a guard, another guard, I guess, and the guard, like, slits his throat. but the guard is actually the devil in disguise, because Phil's character worships the devil, and says, you know, I've got a deal for you, but it requires that you be fully committed to serving me. And of course, you know, Phil says, sure. And so the guy says, okay, you know, you're going to be fully committed to serving me, but you're going to have you're going to keep on living. And so the devil gives Phil this body of this guard that just slit his throat. So he's in that body. He has like that guy's memories and his own memories, and he has his life. He's not like shackled or anything, but he has to fully serve the devil. And I'm like, this is a terrible idea. This is not. He's not going to be able to. He's not good enough to join back with our group with a new form, and just like all these people with different forms, and it's just like, I just want to build this city. And so, yeah, that's pretty much where we ended. With like the tunnel 2 feet dug, and all this shit happened, and it's just like, oh god, I'm juggling plates. Phil decided that he's going to just let this character go and make a new one because he doesn't think there's a good future for that one, which is smart. And so we'll see how things go, but yeah, it's an uphill battle. All right then, I guess I'll leave it off here. So check out the Scarlet King video tomorrow. We got some more Shadow of the Tomb Raider and Doom and stuff coming. And, yeah, that's about it. So, my name is Mangg. This has been Hanging with Mangg. And I'll see you fine folks next week.